Buying crypto on apps like crypto.com is super fast and super easy. However, if you're here for the long term, it is not the most cost-effective way to trade crypto. Therefore, you've got to learn about limit orders, market orders, and in general, how an advanced crypto exchange actually works. So guys, I would say let's strap in and let's figure out more about the crypto.com exchange. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only Coin Baron, and this video is sponsored by Wolfswap, a great alternative if you want to trade tokens on-chain, but more about that later. First, I want to talk about this here, the crypto.com exchange, a great place for professional traders to do their work, but also for regular people like you and me. And why is it so great? Well, I think mainly because there are so many tools available. We got the market charts, of course, that I use a lot in my videos. We got an order book, we got the trading history, and also a bit more advanced, but that's the trading bot. We're going to skip that for this video, but if you want to learn more, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more later. One of the biggest advantages of using an exchange are the transparent fees on the platform. For example, here you can see all the spot trading fees of the crypto.com exchange, and sometimes it's even possible to get 0% fees. And you might often see in those apps like crypto.com, Binance or Coinbase that they also have no fees, but typically they make profit with their spread. So an example here, let's say that you can actually buy one Bitcoin for $100,000. Well, then typically on an exchange, you can buy it already for $99,000 and then often with a bit of fees on top of it. But again, you can actually get zero fees in some occasions. And what makes it especially cool these days on the crypto.com exchange are the zero fee trading. So on some pairs, you can trade without any fees. And I think that makes it actually quite competitive in the current crypto market. Anyways, now I hope you understand why learning more about exchanges is so important. So let's start doing that by making some actual buys or sells here on the platform. And it is really easy. Right now, we're on the markets tab here on crypto.com, and there we already see a lot of trending cryptocurrencies. For example, Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum. But here you can see we also got Kronos, and that's the pair I selected to do some zero fee trading. I like zero fee, so let's go to Kronos by going to trade. On the trading page for Kronos, we can see the most important information right up top here. So for example, the price of the token currently, the daily change, so currently minus 3%, which is a big red day, but also other parts like, for example, the daily open, daily close, but also the daily volume. And the higher the volume, the more popular the token is for trading. But to determine, guys, if we're going to buy or sell, well, we can also take a look here, for example, at the chart to do some technical analysis. And also don't forget to do some fundamental analysis as well. What I find interesting, though, is that there was quite a nice bounce here at about the purple line, which is the weekly average. But then also, on previous days, it went back to the teal line here. So maybe there is quite a good opportunity to make a buy order and to sell on later as we reach that level, because previously we've seen sell-offs at about here. Anyways, I want to do a buy order here based on what we're currently seeing. It is a red day, so buy the dip, they say. So then we have to decide how we're going to buy this CRO. We can do a limit order or a market order. Both are very different. And there are also some other options, but for simplicity's sake, let's keep it to those two today. The easiest one is, I think, the limit order, because it is a very simple concept. What it says, I want to buy this token for this specific price. So let's say I want to buy CRO today for exactly 10 cents. We can easily do so. So what we're going to do here is we go to price, we select, well, I want to sell or buy for exactly 10 cents. And I want to buy today everything what I got available. So with 10 cents, I'm able to buy about 237 Crow. So then all we're going to do is we're going to select buy Crow. And then something happens here. The first thing you might have seen is here, suddenly this triangle appears on the order book. I'm going to talk a bit more later about that. But it's important because also we got this here, the open order tab here on the exchange. So there we see all the information. We're going to see the exact price. We can see the quantity, so 237 Crow. And also how much has been completed. Because this is actually quite an interesting part of really limit orders, because we haven't bought anything yet. we're going to wait really on what the market decides to do, because currently the market is saying, well, I think that Crow is worth more than 10 cents. So we're not going to have a buy until somebody decides, well, I want to buy that Crow at exactly 10 cents. Until then, we're not buying anything. So far, we don't have any Crow. That's also why it mentions, well, there is 237 remaining. That is so the big difference between a limit order and a market order, because a market order is immediate. And for a limit order, we've got to wait until it actually reaches that exact level. So a market order, how does that one work then? So let's cancel this one first. That's the action we can do. So we're going to cancel the limit order and we go to the market order here. And for the market order, well, let's say we want to buy this amount of Crow right here, right now. Then already mentions, hey, not 237, but 225 Crow, because it tries to buy Crow from the buy side here. So on the order book, this is the buy side, and this is the sell side in the red here. And if you want to buy this amount of Crow, well, you can see the amount of Crow available on the buy side. Currently, there's only, it's moving constantly, of course, guys, because trading is very active. But if you want to buy 225 Crow, well, there's only 31 available here. Only 31 available, or one here. So what it tries to do, it's going to try to buy everything here until it has fully filled the Crow market order. Anyways, let's try to do it. It's going to buy 225 Crow. So let's buy some Crow right here. And the order has been submitted and it's already done. Therefore, also, this time we got 0 open orders. So instead, we have to go to the order history, and there we can find all market buy order for 225 0. And this time around, everything has been completed with 0 remaining at the average price of 10 cents 43 for 1 0. And to learn more about that specific market order, we can go to the trade history. And on the trade history, we can see we actually made 2 different trades, even though we had only 1 order. So we bought a bit of Crow for 10 cents 44, and we bought a bit for 10 cents 42. And that is, of course, very interesting because it goes back to what is available quantity-wise on the order book. So it tries to buy about 166.65 for the lowest price, but once the order book was empty at that price, we went to the second lowest price to fulfill the order. But that brings us back to that average price of 10 cents 43. And then also we can see a bit more information about the fees we paid. We paid in total about 0.80 as fees with the fee type taker. But below, I already made a different buy order today with a maker fee type. That buy order, if we go back to the order history, that was also a limit order. That was a limit order. And what you can see also is that the fee is a lot lower, or actually it's even negative. But you can see that if you make a maker type, so a limit order, you pay a lot lower fee than if you make a taker. If you make a taker or a market order, because basically if you're doing those market orders, you're making use of people doing limit orders, because again, it goes back to that order book, right? If I would now sell the exact same amount of Crow on the app instead of the exchange, I would almost get $1 less than what I would get on the exchange. So again, guys, it shows why the exchange is so important. So if you want to use the exchange, don't forget to use the link down below. But also, I got an alternative on-chain from our sponsor today, WolfSwap. WolfSwap is a trading platform where you're trading directly on the blockchain, like for example, the Kronos blockchain, Sonic, Polygon Base, and many others. And the cool thing about that is that you don't need any KYC, no passport. You can just start trading directly on this platform with your wallet and some funding. And also, you got all of the features that you need from, for example, the Crypto.com exchange. So you have this chart, you can do swap orders, limit orders, and much more. Check out WolfSwap right now in the link in the comments down below. Let's go back to the exchange though, because I've shown you how to make trades, but there are more exciting opportunities on the platform. For example, in the yield section, where we can do, for example, the supercharger. Supercharger is actually a great way to use idle assets and set them to work to get some yield, of course. So what we can do, if you get the CRO token, you can actually deposit some CRO, and in return, you will get the Lion token. And every month, this is changing. So right now, you get the Lion token, but previous month, it was the H2 token. And you can do this with CRO, but also with some other tokens, like, for example, Solana or Ethereum. And in return, you get some cool tokens. Here it was XRP, and last month, it was the Trump token as well. That is one option, but another way to earn yield is the soft lockup, which is, I think, very unique on an exchange. So here you can see if you hold Bitcoin on this exchange, it can be in an order, or it can be an idle asset. You can earn annually 0.25% by doing nothing, by doing absolutely nothing with your Bitcoin. So a really neat function. All you got to do is send it to the exchange. However, it is only available with these tokens in this list. So for example, not with the CRO token, not with, I don't think I've seen Ethereum here. It's not available with every token, but still pretty neat. However, you can see it's right now available for 0.25% yearly. You can triple it by locking up CRO. But what is this lockup for CRO? First, we got to understand what really CRO is. Again, CRO, we've been talking about it all video, I think. But CRO is the native, or I would say, Crypto.com token, very much like BNB. So you can also lock it up and you can get quite a bit of benefits by doing so. For example, you can get a sign-up bonus. You can have additional earn rewards. So earn rewards is the APR. So yearly, I'm getting 8% APR on my tokens. And also this is pretty cool. So we're talking about maker fee benefits. So this means, hey guys, I'm getting paid. I'm literally getting paid. So negative fees if I'm making trades on the platform. Pretty unique. Again, I haven't seen this on any other exchange yet, but maybe I missed something. Let me know in the comments if I did. Pretty cool feature though. So if I start locking up, I will get 8%. And also I will get those benefits with the rebate if I make a trade. And also, again, if I go back to the soft lockup, I will get triple my Bitcoin yield here. So far, so good. And finally, we also got staking and DeFi, another way to use those idle assets. For example, for Ethereum, because there was no soft lockup, you can actually start staking Ethereum, and there will be a small fee, but I think it is definitely worth it because you don't have to do it yourself. And you can do that also with a lot of other tokens as well, so I think is very exciting. If you got excited about this platform and want to start using it, well, you do need some funding on your exchange wallet. Therefore, we go to dashboard and then we click on wallet over here. And with wallet, there are a few different options. We can see fiat currencies, like for example, USD and Euro. Scroll on a bit, but also a lot of different cryptocurrencies. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, CRO, whatever. And if you want to, for example, deposit some CRO, we got to press here, deposit. And then we can see we can deposit cash from your bank account, or we can deposit cryptocurrencies like USDC from Circle. And the same is true for Euro. So you can deposit your cash here. And in my experience, I live in the EU, it goes blazing fast. I deposit from the bank and it takes about 1 minute and it's available to use on the exchange. So really, it is something I can recommend. And also it's very easy to start withdrawing the cash as well. That can take a bit longer though, due to also the money laundering laws per country. Those can differ. Also, if you already got some crypto, it's also very easy to start depositing those using different networks. So for example, here we've got Chronos. Make sure you select the one you need. And then, for example, we can use here these QR codes to make it even easier. Finally, guys, we've got to talk about the exchange app as well, because there's a dedicated Crypto.com exchange app available both for Android as well as iOS. And even though you might only want to trade on the website, I do recommend to install the app anyways, because for example, if you open a limit order, it can take quite some while. And the app will give you notification if that limit order has been fulfilled or partially fulfilled. Or also if you made a bank deposit and you're still waiting for your funds to arrive, you will get a confirmation with a notification as well. So I think a pretty neat feature. The rest of the app, it is pretty similar to what we've seen on the website, limit order, market order, but sometimes it's a bit more limited than what you can do on the website. Still though, I think it's a cool app and also very competitive to other exchange apps available. That's it though, ladies and gentlemen. Not much more I can say in this basic tutorial, but if you got any questions, don't forget to ask them in the comments down below. And if you want to start using the exchange, I got a referral link down below that can help both me, the channel, as well as you if you start depositing your first funds on the exchange. So pretty cool, make use of it. And also guys, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more. And if you want to use, for example, our sponsor of today, you can also learn more about how to use an on-chain wallet for your phone, so you can actually go, for example, to Wolfswap.